Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a look at r/Am I the Porthole? It's a lovely sunny day outside. I think it's a great day for judging some big old gaping portholes, don't you? So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you. And of course, a little disclaimer. All opinions that I give on any of the stories are literally just my opinions. They are not facts and not to be taken as such. If you have a different opinion, that is great. Feel free to share it. But of course, if you do have a different opinion, you do not need to be mean to anyone who does not agree with you. Okay, so let's get started then, shall we? So this first one was posted by Sir Fluffy Tun 96. Am I the porthole for not helping my sister-in-law and her baby with rent? So, me and my partner pay $1,450 a month on rent and we split it evenly. It is insane how much rent costs these days, isn't it? It's just crazy. It's fair and we are doing our own thing. Recently, her sister, who has a husband and a 1-year-old child, is losing their housing because the friend they were staying with is moving and they can't afford the rent by themselves. They want to move in with us, and since our apartment is a 1-bedroom, we would have to get a 2-bedroom apartment. The rent will increase from $1,450. That is for a 1-bedroom apartment? Oh my goodness, rip off, to $1,800 a month. I am insisting that the 4 of us each pay 25% of the rent, but the mother of the child doesn't think it's fair because she doesn't work and has a child, and her husband is the only working parent, so they want me, my partner, and her sister's husband to pay a third each instead. No, it has to be, if you are going to be doing this, it has to be each adult pays 25%. That's what makes it fair. Because they're going to be using 2 people's worth of electric, 2 people's worth of gas, 2 people's worth of food. You know, it adds up. I told her that that's not my problem and that they, as a couple, are responsible for $900 a month between the both of them. If she needs money, get a job. The couple seem to think that because she's a stay-at-home mum, that's somehow my responsibility to pay for her portion of rent. No, I don't have kids, and I'm sure it's stressful and costly, but I don't feel like it's fair to expect anything like that of me. TLDR, I was told it's unfair of me to expect my sister-in-law, who is a stay-at-home mum, to pay her portion of rent while living with us. Edit, the response seems to be overwhelmingly one-sided. We'll definitely make an update once things calm down, things are discussed, and compromised made. Or not made. I just think it's wild that they expect to have such a cheap portion of the rent when they could easily have to go out and get their own place on their own and pay the full amount. Like that full $1,800, because I imagine they would get a 2-bedroom, so they have a bedroom for the kid. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they would go for a 1-bedroom, but still then, it's still going to be like $550 more expensive-ish, if they can find one at that much of a deal at that point. So yeah, like, what a joke. I wonder if they did update, actually. Let me just bring up Reddit. Let's have a looky, shall we? Okay, so I cannot see whether they have updated or not. I can't see it on their original post. And they've hidden their post history and their comment history, so I can't actually go on their profile and see if they've updated from there. So, to answer that, who knows if they did update? I can't find it. But anyway, let's have a look at what the comments say, shall we? So, Comeback321 says, she's right, it's not fair. They should pay $1,080 because it's 3 people. And baby stuff will dominate the entire apartment except your actual dresser if you're lucky. Not the porthole. It's not fair to expect people to subsidise her living situation because she can't afford it. And then Fianna9 says, absolutely, all common space will become baby space. Or they will be told not to use it as it's too loud and will wake the baby. Yeah, that is the problem as well, moving in with parents when you're not a parent yourself. You have got to be fully willing to accept the fact that your whole life when you are at home is going to become centered around baby stuff, being quiet for the baby, you know, having to listen to the baby squealing all day and all night. So yeah, I do feel like this would be a bad option for the OP anyway, just for that fact. I'm sure they factored into that, but if they haven't, that's definitely something they need to consider for sure. So, next post, posted by ThinPay8149. Am I the butthole for eating meat from our deep freezer? My husband's friends stored a whole deer in our deep freezer. I hope it was at least put up into bits, because otherwise, how the f did that fit? I'm just imagining like a deep freezer with these deer legs sticking out of it. Disturbing. By this, I mean he has different cuts of meat, adding up to a whole deer. Thanks for clarifying, OP. Lovely. He has ribs, chops, steak, ground meat, and the like. He didn't have room in his house, so he's using our deep freezer. All the meat is nicely vacuum sealed and labelled. Every time he comes to our house, which is once a month or so, I ask him if he wants to take some meat home with him, and he says, no, maybe next time. He's been saying this for 2 years. Absolutely not! Get your entire deer out of my freezer. I want to put peas in there! So we've had the meat in our freezer for 2 going on 3 years. Where are you putting your nuggies, OP? I am concerned. A few times I've taken out some of the meat and made myself a meal out of it. My husband says I shouldn't do that, but I argue it's basically our meat now. I'd rather eat it now than let it go bad. I'm not going to remind our friend that he has meat in our freezer anymore, because that meat is now mine. Am I the butthole for eating the meat in our freezer that my husband's friend stored in there? Yeah, no. Oh my goodness, the audacity though. I could never. I really couldn't. I mean, what are you doing? Getting a whole deer in the first place if you don't have your own freezer that has enough room to keep it in is what I want to know. A bit of a silly idea. Like, I imagine perhaps they went hunting, because I can't imagine paying for something like that and then just like never using it. That's wild to me. But the birds are so loud outside today. I'm getting distracted. Stay on the ball, Void. Flipping heck. But yeah, no. Absolutely not the butthole. I just find sometimes these stories, I'm just like, I could not imagine being so flippin' cheeky to do that. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's have a look at what the comments say, shall we? So, Infinite Escape 9683 says, hey, Ralph, we actually need some of that freezer space back. Please take at least £10 of it with you next time you come. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, has the OP actually said to them, look, mate, you need to take your friggin' deer out of my freezer, mate. I've got no room for anything, please. And then Satisfaction at Sea says, yeah, the issue here is offering it as a choice. Gotta approach it like dealing with a little kid. Do you want to get it yourself, or do you need my help? You have options. Continuing to use my freezer isn't one of them. Yeah, I do that with my kids all the time. I'm like, I make them feel they're getting an option, but realistically it's just like, no, either you do it my way or you do it your way. But either way, it's getting done. It is deeply concerning though when you have to kind of use parenting hacks on grown adults, isn't it? Concerning, yes. Anyway. So, next post, posted by Hot Scallion 1148. Am I the butthole for not respecting my role as the single friend? Oh, goodness me. Go on then. Every year for the past 3 or 4 years, my friends and I have travelled to the same location for the 4th of July. Last year was no different. My friends' parents always host and booked us an Airbnb with 4 rooms, each with a double bed. Because there would be 4 couples and me, single, sleeping at the Airbnb, it was communicated that someone would bring an air mattress, one of the proper fancy ones, to set up in the finished basement. As there was another couple potentially joining us, the possibility of my friend and their partner going to sleep at their parents' place, a short walk away, was also laid out as a possibility. However, this couple did not end up joining. Aside from this, no specific sleeping arrangements or assignments were agreed beforehand. I drove up with one of the couples, couple A, who had brought their air mattress. On the way, they realised they forgot sheets. We messaged the group chat asking if anyone else could bring some, but the other couples, who were still at home, said they didn't have any to bring. Couple A and I arrived first at the Airbnb. I asked them if they thought it was okay for me to take a bed. They agreed, so we each claimed a bedroom. Couple B arrived and also took a bedroom. Couple C and Couple D arrived together. Upon entering, they immediately became upset that I, as a single person, had taken a bed. Well, where else are you supposed to bloody sleep? Couple C took the last bedroom, and Couple D, whose parents were hosting, were left to sleep on the air mattress with no sheets. However, they refused to do this and went to sleep at the parents' house instead. They claimed that I had put them in a terrible situation and wasn't thinking of them. The rest of the weekend was incredibly tense, and ultimately, Couple D, who I had been friends with for 8 years, ended their friendship with me over this. For additional context, Couple D own an Airbnb that they list as 2 bedrooms, but one of the beds is an air mattress. Oh, so they think it's good enough for their guests to sleep on an air mattress, but not them. I see. Edit, the parents paid for the Airbnb. Additionally, in previous years, the air mattress wasn't an issue and everyone had beds. This was the first year Couple A was joining the trip. Couple A took a bedroom with an attached patio. Couple B took the basement bedroom with attached bathroom. Myself and Couple C took small bedrooms on the first floor. Yeah, see, I kind of feel like I could get that the people whose parents had actually booked the Airbnb being miffed if their parents had paid for it. I get that. I do think it's unfair, though, that they expect the only single person to just slum it on a mattress with no sheets or anything. Like, that is shit. So yeah, I can kind of see why the couple who would have had to then, not have a bedroom, despite the fact that it's the Airbnb that their parents paid for, I understand why they may be a bit like, this has annoyed us because our parents have paid for this and we don't get a bedroom. I get that. Okay, so I'm just editing this and I'm just having the realization that the OP's friends would have been okay to go and stay at their parents' house, which is a couple of minutes down the road, had the other couple actually come. Was it couple A? I don't know. I can't remember. But there was supposed to be an extra couple coming and they didn't come. And they were perfectly fine to go down to their parents' house then to give them a room. So why are they not okay doing that so OP can have a room? It does seem that they kind of thinking, well, you don't have a boyfriend, so you don't matter. Or girlfriend or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I've only just really realised that as I'm listening back to the story again. Sometimes I don't pick up on things until afterwards and I'm editing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, odd. But I must say, I don't see anywhere in here where anyone said anything about not respecting the roles as the single friend. I'm going to look this one up again just to be sure that more wasn't added, because I genuinely can't see anything there where it says that they've said, oh, you're not respecting the role as a single friend, like the title said. Okay, right, I've got the post up now. No, it doesn't say anywhere about the couple actually saying that the OP wasn't respecting their role as a single friend. Obviously, they say that they put them in a bad situation and weren't thinking about them. But I mean, neither was anybody else thinking about the OP, I suppose. Right, let's have a looky. What do the comments say then? Maybe we'll get a bit of clarification in the comments. So, Dryad Dwinath says, seems like the biggest a-holes are the people who booked an Airbnb that didn't have beds for all the people attending, to be honest. That's a good point. Also, respecting your role as the single friend. What does that mean? You're not going to bone so you don't get a bed. Edited to add, actually the fact they ended friendship over you doing to them what they would happily do to you makes them a-holes also, not the butthole. Yeah, that is a good point actually, the fact that they did that. Why not just book the place big enough for everyone. But that commenter has a very good point. They're moaning that the OP would have left them to sleep on an airbed with no sheets, but they would expect the OP to do that. So it's like, hold on a minute. You're that salty over that you've ended a friendship because you think it's that bad, but you would have expected me to do it and that would have been fine. That's weird. Anyway, Future Read 66 then says, joined family at an Airbnb once where I paid the same amount as each family of 5. Told I could sleep in the kitchen on an air mattress or a closet on air mattress. In a closet? I slept outside on the balcony, then it rained every night for the next 2 days. Trip sucked. Yeah, I would have been kicking right off. I'm sorry, if I'm paying as much as everybody else, I want a flipping room, thank you. Goodness me. Anyway, moving on. So, next post and the last post for today. This one was posted by Legitimate Peace 780. Am I the butthole for getting divorced as soon as my last kid was out of the house? I should have listened to my dad before I got married, but I was 18 and I knew everything. I was in love and I was going to be with her no matter what. We got married, we got jobs, we had 2 kids. My wife's family helped us with everything. My family was as supportive as they could be, but we sidelined them. We spent all our holidays with my wife's family, both kids' birthday parties were held at my in-laws, and my parents were invited as a courtesy. We both worked and raised the kids, but as time went on, there were 2 groups in our home. Her and the kids were one, and then there was me. All of my choices were undermined. All of my wishes were dismissed. I could not even have privacy in my own bedroom by locking the door because it stressed the kids to knock. After 20 years, I was done. Last fall, my youngest went away for school. I filed for divorce that week. We didn't have assets beside our cars. I walked away with nothing to show for it besides 2 kids that never thought about my side of the family as important. My ex claims that I blindsided her and she didn't know I was unhappy. I asked her what about our constant ongoing arguments for the last 14 years made her think that I was happy or satisfied with our marriage. I asked her what she thought it meant that I was constantly suggesting we get counselling, both for ourselves and for how she dedicated all her energy on the kids instead of us or herself. I said that when my dog died, I didn't get a new one because I knew that although I would be the one to care for them and pay all the bills, she would find a way to claim him during a divorce. So, I'm 41 and starting over. It took me no time to find a better job. The only thing keeping me in my old one was that I was home every night. Now I'm working in a different city doing night shifts and making more money than I ever did before. I have a rescue dog I got the week I left. I'm walking him more and have met new friends in my neighbourhood and at the dog park. My ex's family, her and our kids think I'm the butthole for not communicating that I was unhappy and just leaving. What do they think asking to go to counselling means? Do they think that everything's running smoothly and fantastically? I mean, yeah. I can obviously understand the kids being upset and pissed off because they're kids. They don't understand as much as obviously anybody else would. I don't know how old they are. Of course they're going to take mum's side because quite often kids do, don't they? And they're not going to know that the OP has been pestering the mum for God knows how long for counselling, I imagine, because these aren't things you talk to your kids about. So I get the kids thinking the OP's a butthole, but yeah, the wife saying that he blindsided her when he's been asking to go to counselling. He's been making it clear that he's not happy. And she's like, oh my God, you blindsided me. Come on now, love. The writing was more than on the wall. I talked to her constantly about everything that was bothering me. The kids being allowed to come into the bedroom without knocking, her unwillingness to eat when I cooked my cultural food and letting the kids not eat it too, how I had to attend events with my family alone because she didn't want to come, or let the kids come, plus a million other things. Interesting. Perhaps there is some cultural or racial bias on the wife's behalf, not letting the kids eat the cultural food of the OP or letting the OP cook their cultural food, not attending any family events on the OP's side of the family. This is starting to smell like something entirely different than just a bit of a wife that doesn't really care, isn't it? I don't like that at all. So then the OP goes on to say, I've started dating. She is amazing. Shelley is a teacher, never been married, 32. We aren't at the meeting the family stage yet, but I've met a lot of her friends and I will be attending Easter at her house, where she is hosting for everyone who isn't going home. This is another problem because I have moved on so quickly. It's really not. I had been checked out of our marriage for years. She is having a tougher time, she is not in the right place to date, and her priorities are the kids. The adult kids who do not live at home. Oh, okay, so the kids are adults, okay. I've seen a few posts lately that have made me want to ask. I know how I feel, I know how she feels. I'm mostly estranged from my family, so I don't count their opinions. And the kids and her family have been clear about me abandoning her after all this time. Am I the butthole for leaving as soon as I could after our youngest left? No, at the end of the day, if you're unhappy, you've been communicating that you're unhappy for a long time. I think at that point, having waited for the kids to be adults, I do think at that point, like, you've got to just look after yourself at that point, haven't you, really? And I would say to the OP to get back in touch with family, because if it is the wife that has made them estranged from their family, I would start getting back in touch with people and being like, yeah, I am really sorry, but you know, this is the way it's been. Just explain and see if they can rekindle some of those family relationships, you know? So, down in the comments, JK Patches says, what are you going to do to repair the relationship with your parents, if you still have one, that is? And then the OP replies to that saying, my mum passed a long time ago. I'm talking to my dad and stepmum all the time now. It's getting better. Well, I am glad that that's getting better. I really hope that they can sort of, you know, rekindle that family relationship, because I think that would be really good for the OP by the sounds of it. So then Mission Reasonable 327 goes on to quote the OP saying, I knew that although I would be the one to care for a dog and pay all the bills, she would find a way to claim him during a divorce. She's struggling now because she's not a nice person, which makes it hard to keep friends. You aren't the a-hole. Family and friends are surprised maybe, but what can they do? They can't force you to get back together with her. You're a grown-ass man. As long as you were financially fair with her and not mean about anything, there is no way you could be an a-hole. Exactly. It's like the wife has basically ignored the OP and their needs, despite them telling the wife 1,000 times over what they needed, and now she's there shocked that he's left. I honestly think the wife just thought that she could walk all over him indefinitely and that he'd just lay down and take it, because to be honest, it seems to that point that he kind of had, letting her trample all over his cultural food and stuff like that, letting her trample all over him going and seeing family and spending time with family. You know, she pretty much had got away with that kind of behaviour. So yeah, now she's shocked that the OP's grown a backbone and stuck up for themselves and doesn't know what to do. Well, tough titties, I suppose. Okay then, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al now, will you? He is hungry. Bye!